Thanks, Bill. Terrifying stuff. And of course, we wish Fluffy all the best with her recovery. Next up, some breaking news just in. Thank you. Oh, we go live to Jevgeni Kabanov, CEO of Zero Turnaround, to hear a new revelation into how his company will do business. Live over to our business correspondent, Simon Maple. Simon.
Hey there, Simon Maple here from WNN, the World News Network. Today joining me is Jevgeni Kabanov. Welcome, Jevgeni. You are the founder and CEO of Zero Turnaround. Tell us a bit about the company.
Well, so the company started out by creating a product called JRebel, which helped developers be more productive. And then we followed up by creating the product called XRebel, which helped operations team to deliver applications in a safer way. But now we're ready to go on to the next stage, which we've been actually preparing for the very beginning.
And yeah, I'm sure as many of our listeners will have seen in the news recently, the next stage for Zero Turnaround is to build robots. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I mean, first of all, I gotta correct you there. It's not just robots. I mean, robots is a mundane thing, which it's almost boring. No, what we're going after is giant robots. It's at least 30 meters tall. So that's really just a phase 2 of our plan, which honestly was from the very birth of Zero Turnaround, is that we'd like to dominate humanity.
I see. Well, that's a bold statement, and you heard it here first on WNN. Dominating humanity, that's a little bit of a change in direction for Zero Turnaround. Why are you going this route?
Well, you know, from the time when I was a little boy, I really dreamt about dominating humanity. And so when I finished high school, I came up with a plan, a three-stage plan to dominate humanity. The first stage was making a lot of money. So obviously Zero Turnaround was an attempt to gather the necessary resources, which you can imagine are very considerable, to be able to build giant robots.
Terrifying stuff. What is Zero Turnaround's goal?
Although it may seem that our goal was to help people, then really our goal was to make money. So once the money is made, we go to the second goal, to dominate humanity. To dominate humanity is a nice thing, actually, because I truthfully believe that humanity needs to be ruled by me.
Terrifying. What does open sourcing a company actually mean?
So what Zero Turnaround will do is that we're going to open a GitHub account. We're going to put absolutely everything that you need to build a company like Zero Turnaround, including products and the giant robots, into an open source repository. This will mean that anybody can clone that repository and build a company like Zero Turnaround. So we're looking at many attempts to recreate this amazing experience.
Absolutely terrifying. Who else lives in this marketplace, Jevgeni?
An amazing example is Google. I mean, Google's long-term project to basically dominate human beings by collecting every single bit of information about them and then using that for purposes of blackmail and seduction and so on has been running for more than 10 years now, and yet nobody talks about that it's evil. So obviously, Google showed a very successful business model for dominating humanity through open source. And you know, with today's news that I mean, if I am to speak honestly, then hearing about the projects like self-driving cars, I'm really worried that Google is moving in the same direction as we do, and that they also want to build giant robots, only sentient giant robots, which is even worse.
Simply terrifying.
How is Zero Turnaround going to remain the leaders in world domination?
So like any other open source company, honestly, the true challenge is to keep coming up with this creative edge, keep doing something extra, right? So, and at Zero Turnaround, we're open sourcing the current plans, but we still have some things that we keep proprietary, including our plans for the seafaring robots, including our plans for the volcano robots, which can actually blow up islands. And obviously, you know, the world is just the beginning because there's a whole universe out there. So the spacefaring robots and the giant spaceships that host the spacefaring robots, this is really the next thing which I think will keep us on edge. In addition, honestly, I think that interacting with open source community is going to be amazing because we're going to put out the plans for the giant robots out there, and open source community is sure to improve of them. I mean, our estimate is that in a year we'll be able to reduce the cost of building a giant robot by 2 times and increase their efficiency at destruction by 10 times.
Wow.
All thanks to the open source community.
Wow, it is a giver. It just doesn't stop giving, does it?
Terrifying.
obviously our listeners are now going to be wondering, well, when are they going to be invaded? When are they going to be dominated next? What's the roadmap looking like?
Oh well, as it is with the launches. It's just so much work, and the open source took a lot of effort. So now we're a little bit behind on the actual building of the giant robots. But I think the first prototype is coming off the conveyor belt in a month or so, and you can see the first attacks. We need some plutonium. We're building a giant nuclear reactor, obviously, to power the giant robots and to build them faster. And so you'll see the first few attacks on the nuclear sites, so on. And then, of course, obviously, we're going to roll it out to bigger cities, and some rural areas might not see the giant robots up to a couple of years from now.
Wow! So keep an eye on the Zero Turnaround site. Keep an eye on the new open source community for more information about when you could be enslaved and when you could be invaded next. Thank you very much, Jevgeni.
Thank you.
And of course, if you have any plutonium which you'd like to offer or donate up to the new open source Zero Turnaround, please contact them directly. Thanks very much to Jevgeni Kabanov, the CEO of Zero Turnaround, and Simon Maple, of course, our business correspondent. Next up, another terrifying report. GitHub, just a code repository for developers to use, or a government conspiracy? Find out next.